Hello, welcome back to another video. I must admit, I was up this morning and I wasn't really sure what to do for the next video. I had a couple of ideas and then finally had a coffee and settled on what I wanted to do, which was start doing some laps around Spa with a little bit of a timetable, and I thought what way to introduce that. And I thought let's have a look at some of the Ferrari F1 cars through the seasons, through the years on Assetto Corsa at Spa, and let's see how they progress as technology moves on. How we progress in our lap times. So we're going to start straight away with the Ferrari 312 and go from there. So here we go then with the first car. We're back in 1967 with the Ferrari 312. We've got something like 390 or so horsepower and about 550 kilos. So a decent power to weight ratio, although nothing compared to the modern cars, it should be said. Old tyre technology, old H-pattern shifter. Let's see how we go. Here we go then, start our first flying lap. Does sound good, but as I've just found out, the brakes are quite a challenge compared to some of the modern cars I'm more used to driving. And you really do have to take your time with those gear changes. Quite a difference to what we'll see when we get to the modern cars with sequential shifters. This is going to be quite a challenge. Down into third, just feathering the throttle through here now. Back onto full power at the top. The back still wanted to come round, but despite the age now, we're making good progress down the back straight. It's going to be very early on the brakes here. I'm thinking about 200. Down the box into third. Might even be second ideally, but it's rolling on okay in third. She's lively, and I think that's the first thing really, is the old tyre technology really shows now. That combined with the old brakes and a decent amount of power makes this quite an engaging drive. Saw them back in the day with loads of steering inputs, and you can feel that around some of these, particularly the higher speed corners, as you're constantly fighting a switch between understeer and oversteer. It is good fun. Just trying to push me wide here. I enjoy the fact it's a car that you have to kind of take your time with on the gear shifts as well. You have to treat it with respect. Here we go then, to the last few corners. I imagine it's going to be down a gear at least here. Oh, it's just fighting me the whole way. I'm really early now. Down the box, little lock up. And that is good fun. And we're across the line for our first lap time. That gives us a nice base to go from there. So here we go then. We've made a big step forward now from the mid-60s to the mid-70s. Very famous Ferrari, made famous by Niki Lauda, the 312. We've now got around 500, 600 horsepower, something like that. We've got some big wings for the first time, really, that they're making a big effect on the car. And we've got some really chunky tyres. Still on a round wheel, we're still on an H-pattern gearbox, but I'm expecting we're going to take a decent chunk of lap time out here. So let's find out. Here we go then in one of the more famous Ferraris. First thing I notice is just how free revving the motor is. Starting to get a little bit of aero helping us out as well, although fairly unsophisticated at this stage compared to what we have nowadays anyway. Eau Rouge, I'm sure, is still going to need to drop off quite a bit of speed through here. Just about kept it in check at the top there, and we can blast down the back straight now. Into fifth gear. and then really heavy on the brakes, down into second, get it turned in nicely. And you can drive this car around some of these corners with the throttle a little bit. It enjoys being in a little bit of a four-wheel drift. And it makes you feel like a hero too. It is an engaging place to be. I think probably because of the slightly more modern tyres than the 60s car as well. I find it more predictable. It's probably just coming down to what I'm used to. Bit late on the brakes there, it's cost me a bit of time. Another big moment as well. We're okay, we're going to drop it down a gear here. And now we just want to be feathering the throttle and on power as early as I can now. Unleash this motor. Even with the huge wings, I imagine this is going to be a little bit of a rub with the left foot into here, lift off and back on. Power now. Didn't think I was going to get stopped then, but we're turned in okay. There we go. Really enjoy driving that. I could just lap that all afternoon. But that lap will do. It's a 2:25 and we found a big chunk of lap time. So we're jumping forward again here. We've skipped out of the 80s and we're straight into 1994 and Gerhard Berger's Ferrari F104. Quite an iconic shape in these years, and the Ferrari, I think everyone knows this shape of Ferrari Formula 1 car. We've got some big power now. We're up at about 675 brake horsepower. We've got slightly thinner tyres than was on Lauda's car, but we've got really quite sophisticated aerodynamics now compared to where we were at. So I'm expecting this to be quite a lot faster. Here we go then. Now this is a mod, and I have to say the force feedback on it is quite something down the straights. I'm also fairly sure in period this was sequential and it wants me to use the H-band, but that's fine. Through Eau Rouge, we're up into 6th now. I don't think it'll be flat, but it's probably not as much of a lift as it was previously. And here we go then, back down the Camel Straight. Quite late on the brakes. Pretty poor heel and toe work from me there, but we'll just pretend that was silky smooth. Quite quick gearing on this for not having the sequential shifter, but we're making it work so far. Down one gear into here. Probably could have carried a little bit more speed. You can tell that the apex speeds have gone up now quite a lot, and the aero is definitely starting to work a lot on the car now. It's not moving around on the tyres as much as some of the other generations. Probably just a small lift into here, I'm thinking. It's very nearly flat. I probably could have taken that flat, truth be told. There we go, across the line with a 2:011. Quite intense with the feedback on that mod, but we found a lot of time, so let's keep going. I think this is the one we've all been waiting for, isn't it? Ferrari F2004 from 2004. We're up now at something, I don't know, 850, 900 horsepower. sophisticated aerodynamics, paddle shift, we're on the Formula rim, groove tyres, which made them even faster in a straight line but did slow them down in the corners. But this car dominated the 2004 season, driven by Michael Schumacher, and I'm expecting this to be extremely fast. Let's go for it. Here we go then, and what a noise! Absolutely flat out now, and I'm going to try and keep it flat through Eau Rouge. Pretty easy for it. Right up on the top end of the limiter now, down the back straight. And I'm sure we can be extremely late on the brakes. Probably could have been even later than that. Technology has moved on a lot in the 10 years this time. The car is absolutely glued to the track. The braking distances are getting laughably short now as well. Going to keep it flat all the way up to the bus stop now. Really late on the brakes. Tiny little lock up. And a 1:51.9. What a car. Right, here we go then. Our final Ferrari F1 car at Spa for today. The Ferrari SF70H. I think this is the 2017 car. Sebastian Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen. Quite impressive really when you think about technology and how far they've come, despite getting constantly pulled back by regulations. These are now 1.6 V6 turbo hybrids, and the number that often gets banded around is something in around 1,000 brake horsepower, which, when you consider they're getting that from those engines, is seriously impressive. I'm expecting though the F2004 to give this a run for its money when it comes to lap time. Let's see how we go. Here we go then. Very different noise to the F2004. What it lacks in noise, it makes up for in technology, as we keep it absolutely nailed flat through Eau Rouge and at the top of Radion. Barely any steering inputs. And then we hit the DRS now, down the Camel Straight. It's moving around a lot more than the F2004, but that's not hugely surprising. You know, there's been lots of regulations to try and slow these cars down over the years. Run a bit wide there, that's going to cost us some time. Try and make it up now. You know, the exciting engine notes have gone. And that's in pursuit of ruthless efficiency, really. If you're wasting too much energy with sound, you could be converting more of that into power. These last few corners now, barely even corners with the aero. Easy flat. And then as late as I dare on the brakes. DRS open again as we chase the line. A 1:52.3. Now I know I've got some more time in this because I have done a 51 round here, but that was the time we went for, and it shows just how close the F2004 and this car from 2017 are. But there we have it. A look at some of the different Ferrari Formula 1 cars throughout some of the decades, and the difference in lap times around Spa. Awesome fun for me. Hopefully you enjoyed it too. If you did, please do consider pressing that like button, and if you're not already, subscribing. I want to keep doing some different laps around around Spa in different cars, and that gives us a nice leaderboard now as we go forward. I really enjoyed that, and I hope you did too. So I shall say thanks very much for watching.